Think of the last time you just knew. Maybe it was a split-second decision not to take that call, or the sudden spark to say yes to an opportunity. You couldn't chart it on a spreadsheet. You couldn't explain it in neat bullet points, but you felt it in your bones. This is your intuition. The original language of your body and your mind working together. And if you've asked yourself, what is my intuition? How do I hear it? And more importantly, trust it. And how do I grow this relationship so it becomes my daily compass? That's exactly what we'll be diving into. So, intuition is the quiet signal beneath thought. But what is it? Intuition is not a vague, mystical fog. It's precise. It's your body speaking before your mind has words. Neuroscience shows us that subtle signals, a tightening in your stomach, a change in your breath, a surge in your pulse, can happen milliseconds before your conscious mind catches up. Research shows that our bodies respond before the conscious brain does. In some experiments, participants' nervous systems registered a shift seconds before they could logically explain why. Intuition isn't fantasy. In fact, it's survival advantage. We can see how the body speaks first, but how does this show up in our everyday choices? Well, intuition is also your brain's remarkable ability to recognize patterns in an instant. Years of experience, thousands of interactions, millions of micro moments are stored away. And intuition is how those surface, not as a paragraph, but as a single clear flash of knowing. Picture a woman leading a high stakes pitch. She has rehearsed her slides a dozen times, but midway through, she notices the room's energy shift. The body language, the silence, something tells her she's losing them. Her body whispers, pivot. Against her plan, she chooses to close her laptop, addresses the hesitation directly, and shifts the entire tone. Later, she realizes that one intuitive choice sealed the deal. This is how intuition can play out in a moment. And history shows it's also been the spark behind great breakthroughs. History is filled with stories of breakthroughs born not from spreadsheets, but from intuition. Discoveries in science, flashes of artistic genius, pivotal business decisions made in the quiet of instinct. Einstein described intuition as a sacred gift, admitting that his greatest insights came not from equations, but from flashes of imagination he later proved with the mathematics. Take a moment and consider, when have I felt my body speak before my mind? Was it a whisper, a nudge, a loud inner no? And as you sit with that memory, let it settle into this truth. I honor the quiet signals of my body, the compass beneath my thoughts. So intuition is real. How do we actually hear it? And can we get to a point where we can trust it as well? Well, hearing intuition is one thing. Trusting it, that's really where the leap lies. Your intuition isn't something you chase, it's something you recall. It has always been yours. Experts in fields from medicine to firefighting and beyond often rely on intuition under pressure. Studies show their brains pull from experience instantly, guiding decisions before logic can even assemble. Analysis may confirm it later, but intuition made the first move. What happens when fear tries to drown it out, though? Fear and anxiety may demand urgency, but intuition is different. It doesn't shout, it steadies you, waiting with patience for you to lean in and listen. Imagine a successful businesswoman offered a glamorous deal. On paper, everything's perfect. Prestige, resources, visibility, legacy. Yet each time she sits with it, her chest tightens. Her body whispers, no. Against her advisor's counsel, she walks away. Months later, the deal unravels in chaos, confirming her choice. That inner whisper saved her from disaster. This is how intuition steadies us in the moment. And the more we act on it, the more proof we gather. The more you practice listening and then acting, the more intuition will show you that it knows what it's talking about. Every time you follow through and the outcome confirms what you felt, your trust and intuition multiplies. It's literally compound interest for your trust. There's a parable of an emperor demanding a portrait from the kingdom's greatest painter. Months passed with no canvas delivered. Furious, the emperor stormed into the artist's home. There on the wall was a single brushstroke, deliberate, perfect, alive. This is all, the emperor thundered. The painter bowed. I have spent years removing every stroke that was not true. What remains is what always was. Intuition is not the noise we add, but the truth that remains when all else is stripped away. Reflect for a moment. When have I ignored my gut and regretted it? And when have I listened and been grateful that I did? And pulling from both of these examples, what do these reveal about the voice within me? Every story you just remembered is evidence. Let that evidence anchor into this reminder that I act on my inner knowing, and every choice strengthens my trust. So we've seen how intuition speaks and proves itself, but how do we grow that relationship so it becomes our daily compass? Intuition isn't just crossroads or crisis. It's not an emergency line you can dial once in a while. It's a relationship. And like any relationship, it thrives on consistency. Neuroscience shows pathways strengthen with attention. Just as lifting weights builds muscles more effectively when you're concentrating on the mind-body connection of that muscle contracting, noticing your intuitive signals builds sharper, faster access to them. So consistency strengthens the signal, but how do we invite it into our daily lives? Think of it this way. The more time you spend listening to a friend, the closer you become. It's no different with your inner voice. Daily rituals anchor the connection. So in the morning, pause and ask, what one choice would make today meaningful? And at night, ask yourself, when did I listen to my body today? There was a founder who was committed to jotting down a single intuitive decision each day. Weeks later, she noticed a pattern. Her biggest breakthroughs, her best hires, her most profitable pivots all began as quiet gut calls. This is how rituals anchor intuition. But what happens when we allow it to move more lightly? Small acts, repeated consistently, build a library of evidence, and evidence is the currency of self-trust. There is a story of two monks who reached a rushing river where a woman waited, afraid to cross. The elder monk lifted her, carried her across, and set her down. Hours later, the younger monk burst out. How could you? We have sworn to never touch a woman. The elder smiled. I set her down on the riverbank. Why are you still carrying her? Intuition moves lightly, free of rules, free of noise. It does what is needed, and then it lets go. Imagine for a moment if my intuition were sitting across from me as a trusted friend. What message would it want me to hear right now? Hold that message close and let it deepen into this truth. I trust my intuition and treat it as a trusted companion. And the more I honor it, the louder it speaks. So intuition is more than a feeling. It's a refined compass, guiding the choices that you carry beyond this room. We've seen what intuition is, how to hear it and trust it, and how to grow that relationship with it so it can become your daily compass. And let this final story leave you with the quiet strength of what we've uncovered. There was an ancient village, and a traveler asked a sage which road would lead him to fulfillment. The sage pointed to two paths. One, crowded with noise, banners, endless shouting. The other, narrow, quiet, and plain. The traveler hesitated, and the sage simply said, the path you hear only when you are silent, that is the one already carrying you. If what we've explored today stirred something in you, if you have felt the whisper of recognition, the sense that this is the missing piece, coaching is where that seed becomes a living practice. Together, we refine the language of your intuition. So it isn't just a nudge, but a clear, confident compass in your daily life. We anchor practices that match with your goals, your energy, and your season of life. So every decision feels aligned and not forced. This is your space for personalized guidance, for accountability that feels empowering, and for breakthroughs that are sustainable and true to you. Are you ready to move from hearing your intuition to trusting it, embodying it, and leading with it? If so, all the resources you need will be found in the description box below, and we will see you very soon.